hi everyone, my name is Maureen Bloechlinger. I'm based in Zurich, Switzerland. You probably see me traveling around the world a lot, and I also have my own poker group called Globetrotting Poker, also Globetrotting Poker Women. So how did I win my package? Started the beginning of October. So I saw this tweet from Asif. I think he's quite famous, poker traveler. And he's like, yeah, extra value added tonight, 20K Vegas package. I'm like, what's this all about? So I go on PokerStars, find the tournament, play an $11 satellite, get a 109 ticket, jump in the game, kings versus queens, whatever, poker, and I bust. So then I'm like, okay, I have money on my account. I'm going to go in again. So I try to buy in and you can't buy in. So basically I found out I should have been grinding all of Sunday afternoon, these like $11 satellites to like stock up on the 109 tickets. So I had no idea. And also Willie Elliott from PokerStars, he was also posting all over like, extra added value. And I wrote on his post, I was like, yeah, and no one told me that you only can go in with a ticket. So a couple days ago, I started around 2 p.m., starting hitting up the $11 satellites and got one ticket. It was a really rough day. I mean, you can ask my husband. I was like, oh, I don't know. Maybe we should just go to the movies. I don't know. Today's awful. Like I haven't hit anything. Like I've been playing since 2 o'clock. Nothing's happening. So, and then I tried one last satellite, got in. Then it registered me into the 109. I'm like, oh my God, no, because then I'm sat there with 15 big blinds. So I tweeted PokerStars. I was like, why don't you have it opt out, right? Because I wanted to come in at the beginning with a full stack, or I wanted to do max late reg, or come in, take a bathroom break, get something to eat, then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, now I have to play this game. It's a 109 ticket, right? Because that's huge. Then I just started playing and, it's Sunday. So I usually play the women's Sunday. So I had the women's Sunday up and I also had some smaller games up. So the nights wearing on, I'm like busting here. And then I'm like, oh, I'm still left in the 109. So then there was over 900 players. So then all of a sudden it gets down to like 90. Then it's like, oh my God, now it's kind of getting real. And my husband's like yelling in from the other room, what are you doing? Do you want to watch a movie? I'm like, well, I'm trying to win this Vegas package. And he goes, what Vegas package? I'm like, leave me alone. I'm trying to play, So then all of a sudden we get to the bubble of like the bronze. And I was watching Twitter in the background and Colin Capone. He's also, doing these interviews with poker players, very active. So he tweets to me, I'm watching you or I'm following you. You don't want the bronze. The bronze is only another 109 ticket for like the Sunday Millions or another PokerStars tournament. I'm like, oh my God, yeah, you're right. I don't want the 109. We got to go for like the silver. And I have some pictures, like at one point I was like 57 out of 59 and I was like yelling to my husband. I was like, I think I'm going to be out. Oh my God. And, we came so close. So I just kind of prepared myself for busting. Then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, we're in the money because, the screen starts, raining the poker chips. And then my husband starts getting interested. He's like, what kind of Vegas package can you win? I'm like, I don't know. Look it up online. like see what we can win. I'm like, it's Vegas and like money for travel. And I don't know. Just look it up. I'm playing. Then all of a sudden, people start dropping like flies. And then, the game kind of slows down again. But everyone's so short. I mean, I think the chip leader had about 22 big blinds. I had like 6 at one point. I mean, it was insane. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, oh my God, we're 2 people off of the silver package. And by this time, I looked it up because there was a break. And I made a screenshot, sent it to my husband. I'm like, okay, so the silver package, it would be a mini trip to Vegas, as I called it, because you would get like a buy-in and some money for travel. I said, but I really want that gold now since like we're this far. So then like the game starts again. I was kind of card dead, wound up having like 6 big blinds. I get ace king. I go all in. my screen freezes. And I have a picture of it. And like by this time, my husband's sweating behind me. And I'm like, oh my God, the computer just froze. So I'm like, now I don't know if I'm in or out or what's happening. And then, I'm watching the screen and people are getting kicked out. I'm like, oh my God, that could be me because we're frozen. I could have lost a hand. So to this day, I don't know what someone called me with because I came back to a bigger stack. So I didn't even get to see the hand because I was all in, then froze. So it was like so critical. So it's Sunday grind. So I'm like there with my pajamas, no makeup on, hair all over the place. I'm just like, oh my God, I can't deal, So then there wasn't even a bubble to the final table because all of a sudden we finished a hand. I didn't even see, the message hand for progress or anything. All of a sudden it was boom, more confetti, more chips. You're at the final table. So basically we're 9 people, 8 get a package. I'm sitting with about 6 big blinds. The guy to my right, or maybe girl, I don't know. I didn't recognize any of the screen names at the final table. Had 0.84. Yeah, 0.84 of a big blind. But having said that, the whole night, I saw someone called Slow Joke in the rankings. And I'm like, wait a second, I think that's Dara O'Kearney. And then I found out later it was. So Asif was actually sweating me because we know each other in real life, and then sweating Dara. And then I texted Asif. I'm like, oh my God, did Dara really bust? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, wow. I said, he was like chip leading most of the night and I don't know what happened. So then I was just like so nervous and I'm just like, oh my God, like I just have to fold everything. So like, my laptop's there and like I was standing up behind the camera, just like, like this, like waiting for the hands. And then, I wish I could call up the hands, but there was a crazy hand involving 4 people. And I don't know what happened, why they were involved or decided to limp or play along. So it was when the guy with 0.84 was in the big blind. So 3 players wound up coming along. Then there wound up to be a side pot action. So then one of the bigger stacks wound up busting and the guy or girl with the 0.84 stack wound up getting a ticket. So I can send you the name. It's on my screenshot. But I think his story is even more amazing because he should have been out, right? Mathematically speaking, yeah. Yeah. Mathematically speaking, this guy should have been out. And I don't know what came over the other players, but yeah, they wanted to play this hand and it got played and the tables turned. And there was actually like quite a large rail. But I wasn't really watching the chat. I only found out later, like people texting me like, yeah, I was watching and sweating along. And oh my God, I can't believe they got into that 4-way hand. And then basically we were, there was the bus. And then I'm like, oh my God, I just won the Vegas package. And then like, it didn't sink in. And then I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. And I went from $11 to this Vegas package. Then Asif starts calling me and he's like, oh my God, I'm so jealous. I'm so happy for you. And do you realize what you just won? I'm like, yeah, the Vegas package. He's like, no, it's worth $20,000. And like, it has the F1 tickets. And I'm like, oh my God, So that's when it really sunk in. Once hearing it from Steve, like what was really in the package. And then I just couldn't believe it. And trust me, I got no sleep that night because I won the package. I registered online, fixed that we were going to Vegas and not, picking a different option for the package. And then basically I had to book flights. So long story short, I support women in poker. And I knew there was a NAPT women's event on November 5th. And I told my husband, guess what? I'm flying early. If you're coming or not, I'm playing that women's event. And then basically all the other qualifiers come later because it syncs up with Formula One. I think I'm the most excited about the F1 part because again, it's tickets and the experience that you can't buy. So it's like ultimate VIP. And I'm a little bit spoiled, as I said before. I get the opportunity. I can play poker at different places around the world. I never played at NAPT, so that would also be a cool experience. But the F1 just makes it so special. It's just like crazy.